All Thing Yoga, and I am so happy because today we have a really fun practice we're going to try. It's a playful balancing practice. So this is part of our January series. We worked on strength earlier in the month, and now we're still working on strength. Balancing postures definitely build strength, but they also help us work on our focus. They help us align the right and left sides of our bodies. So it's a lot of fun. We'll have fun with this one. We're going to start by laying on our mat. So something a little different today. So meet me over on your mat and stretch out those legs. You can keep your arms next to you, and then we're going to breathe in and raise the arms up, 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 all the way over your head and put them all the way behind you for a full body stretch. Now, I don't know about you, but this always feels really great to me, and it can be a great way to start a class off. And what I want you to do is I want you to point and flex your toes a few times. So point and flex, warm up those ankles and those feet a little. You can scrunch in your toes and scrunch in your hands into fists, and then spread your toes and your fingers wide. Do that a few times. Maybe we can take some gentle ankle and wrist circles. You can rotate them in one direction. And then switch directions. Rotate your ankles and your wrists in the opposite direction. Great work. And then we're going to breathe our arms back and bring them over your body and let them rest gently on your belly. And we're just going to take a few deep belly breaths to get us centered. So hands on your belly, or one on your belly, one on your heart, whichever feels most comfortable to you. We're going to breathe in and breathe out. You can breathe out through your mouth, give an audible sigh, or you can breathe in and out through your nose, whichever feels most comfortable. Breathe in and breathe out. Once more, let's breathe in and breathe out. Nice job. Now we're going to breathe in and bring our knees into our belly and chest. And then we're going to rock and roll our way back up. So we want to get a little momentum going, and we're going to rock forward and roll back. Rock forward, roll back. Rock forward, roll back, and maybe one more time if it feels good, roll back, and then come up to a comfortable seat. Now that rock and roll, I always feel like that's a really fun, it almost makes you feel like a kid when you do that one, but it's actually a really great spinal massage. So if your back's ever feeling really tight or kind of crunchy, if you can do a couple rock and rolls, that really warms up the back and kind of gives it a good massage as you're doing it. All right, so now we're going to warm up our back a little bit more. We're going to start with a seated cat-cow. So we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe in, we bring our chest forward. We let our belly just open up as we breathe. And we can tilt our chin and our gaze towards the sky if we want. And then as you exhale, go ahead and round those shoulders, just like a Halloween cat, round your back. I'll turn once to the side so you can see. Breathe in. And exhale. Okay, let's do two more of those. Breathe in. And exhale. And once more, breathe in. And exhale. Great work. Now we're going to raise our arms up to the sky as we breathe in. And we're going to twist to the left. Bring our left arm behind us. Bring our right hand to our left knee. And then you can either keep your gaze forwards if that feels most comfortable for your neck, or look over your left shoulder if that's comfortable. And then we'll breathe in and lengthen our spine a bit more. And then on the exhale, twist any amount more that you can if it feels good. Then we're going to breathe in. And on the exhale, come back to center. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. So breathe those arms up. We're we're going to twist to the right. Put your right hand behind you. Put your left hand on your right knee. And then we're going to breathe in again. Lengthen a bit more, and then the exhale, twist a bit more if it feels comfortable. Now, as we go through everything today, go ahead and come back to center. We want to make sure that we're meeting our appropriate edge. We want to be challenging ourselves, and some of the balance postures are going to be challenging. You might do some things you've never tried before, or sequences, but we don't want to hurt ourselves. So if anything feels too much, go ahead and modify it and bring it to a level that feels comfortable in your body. Even if that means going into child's pose and taking a rest for a little bit, that's great. That's actually what yoga is all about, is listening to your body, listening to what it needs, and then jumping back in whenever you feel comfortable. All right, so then we're going to come into table. So get on your hands and knees. We want our hands directly below our shoulders, knees below our hip points, have a neutral spine, and then we're going to drop our forearms. So drop your elbows where your hands were, and you might need to walk your legs back a little depending on your body, and we're going to push back into our hips and bring our foreheads down to the ground. This is called extended puppy pose, or just puppy pose, and it's sort of like a blend between extended child's pose and downward facing dog. So it gives you a similar back stretch, but it's a little more intense than just a child's pose. Go ahead and breathe here and really sink into the posture. Now, if your head hasn't come all the way to the ground, that's totally fine. You could be right here and you'll still be getting a great stretch, and it's important to listen to that versus pushing yourself into a posture and hurting yourself. And then we're going to push all the way back, push those hips back, and crawl your hands back to child's pose. Right, and we're going to come out of that, and we're going to go back to table, and we're going to bump our hips. So we're going to take our hips and bump them to the right, and look over our left shoulder, just to give ourselves a little bit of a side body stretch. And then come back to center. Do the same on the other side. Bump your hips to the left, and look back over your right shoulder, any amount. And then come back to center. Great work. So now that we're in table, we're actually going to push ourselves back into a low toe stand. So what that means is we're going to curl our toes under, and we're going to gently walk our hands back and start kind of sitting back on our heels until we are able to lift up on our toes and be in a toe stand. Now, I got hidden behind my shelf, so I will come over here, and however much support you need to get into that toe stand is great. You can keep your hands on the ground. You could use blocks and put them under your hands for extra support. You want to try to keep some length in your spine, so wherever is comfortable might need to bring the ground to you on the blocks, or if you want an added challenge, you could bring your hands to your heart while you're in your toe stand. All right, and now we're going to push up into mountain pose. So stay on your toes, maybe bounce a little to get some motion, and then we're going to rise up and use the strength of your legs to come into mountain. Raise those hands over your head. Breathe in, and then on the exhale, bring them down to your sides. Great work. So now we're going to try some different balancing poses. I'll try to scooch here where you can best see me. So without looking down, I want you to lift up your right leg. You could imagine you have like a string attached to it or something, like a puppet. Just lift it up. And we first want to make sure that we're grounded in our left leg before we just lift it up, because then we'll probably fall. So maybe spread the toes on your left foot and pick them up a little and then plant them down. Make sure it feels really solid there. Good work. And then go ahead and lift that right leg. And now if it helps, you can hold on to the leg, or you can just keep your arms out at the sides right now. And our first move is we're going to open up our hip. This is kind of a prep for tree pose, and it just gets our body starting to feel this type of a posture. We'll take a breath here. And then on the exhale, we're going to bring it back to center, and we're going to pass our right leg over to our left hand. Now, you could stay here. You could bring it across your body a bit, your leg for a bit of a twist. You could also open up your arm out to the side or open it up behind you and look over your shoulder. You can also grab this leg and extend it. That's very hard in my body, so if you can't extend it all the way, it's better to keep the length in your spine and keep your hand on this knee. And again, you can have your arm out for counterbalance, do more of a twist, whatever feels comfortable today. Great job. And then, without letting our leg fall, we're going to go into tree pose. So that could be bringing it to your inner thigh. That could be putting it on your calf. Or that could be keeping your toes on the ground, if you can see here, and using your legs sort of as a kickstand. Any of these positions still open up your hip and give you the benefits of tree pose. So it's however you feel the most grounded and comfortable. You don't want to feel so wobbly that you're just going to fall over, but if you feel comfortable in this position, go ahead and challenge yourself. And we're going to be here for a few breaths. So I want everyone to play with their arms a little. Now, if this is all you can do today and this feels like really intense, then go ahead and stay there. See, even I fell out of it. If you fall out, I think the best part about balanced postures is it teaches you a lot about self-compassion, trusting that the ground's there to catch you. So if you fall out, just go right back into the pose. It also helps to have a focal point. So if there's something that's not moving on your wall or on your floor, go ahead and focus on that. And then go ahead and bring the hands to the heart if that feels comfortable. You could raise your hands to the sky. You can wave them about. Give yourself an added challenge. Maybe you're a breezy tree. You could even take eagle arms if you wanted for a challenge. All right. And we've been in tree for a while now, so we're going to slowly release that leg, bring it back to the front, and then gently place it on the ground. Good job. So now it always helps to shake out the legs a little when you do that much work. You can point and flex the toes if that helps, or do some ankle circles. And we're going to try that on the other side. So we're going to plant our right foot. And remember, do the same thing. Make sure it's grounded, because we don't want to just dump our weight into our hip when we go up. We want to be able to stand firm and tall. So lift those toes, spread them out. Make sure they're planted nice and solidly. And then on an inhale, raise up your leg. And then we're going to hold it out to the side. And again, we can put this arm out. We can look behind ourselves, whatever feels most comfortable or most challenging today. Then you can pass the leg over to your other hand. And again, arm out for counterbalance, looking over it, or just staying focused. You can also actually interlace your hands if that feels most comfortable and gives you the most support. Good work. And then we're going to go into tree. And just a reminder, we can have kickstand, we can have shin, or we can have full tree up into our inner thigh. You just never want to put it on your knee, because if you push on your knee, that's a kind of a recipe for falling down and getting a knee injury. So ground your foot, come into your tree, and you might notice that each side is different. A lot of times I have more balance in my left leg. It's a lot easier to balance than in my right leg. Today still seems to be that way, but some days it's completely different. So just listen to your body and see what it needs when you're working on balancing postures, especially. And then again, we can bring our arms to our heart center. We can wave them up in the sky. We could do eagle arms on the other side. Whatever feels really comfortable. You can just keep them right here out at your side. Good work. And then we're going to release the tree and put our leg up and then back down. Just trust that that ground's there for you. It's down there. You don't have to look at your feet. Good work. So we're going to breathe in and raise our arms overhead once more. Raise them up, 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 up. Bring them down to our heart center on our exhale. And we're going to go out of this pose the way we came into it. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. But I'm in mountain, a nice strong mountain. We want to feel that our head is over our heart and our heart is over our pelvis. Now that might look different in every body. You don't want to contort yourself, but you want to have that feeling, that sensation of head over heart, heart over pelvis. Hands to our heart center. And then we're going to raise up on our toes. And we're going to slowly and with control crouch back down to our toe stand. And if you fall and you land on the ground, that's totally fine. But we just want to see what we're able to do, right? We're going to challenge ourselves a little today. And from this toe stand, we're actually going to lower ourselves, and we're going to try and do it without using our hands. And that might mean a full plant right out of the ground. Or if you feel that you need the support, go ahead and use your hands. But we try to go back and down and land on our bums. Great work. And now we're going to do a little bit of core work. So we're going to do Navasana or boat pose. So I want everyone to make sure that their bums are firmly down the ground. If you even need to sort of make sure that you kind of pull away and have your sits bones on the ground, that'll really help you stay firm and grounded when you do these poses. And then we're going to breathe in and lift up our legs. Now for boat pose, we could be here in half boat. We could be all the way in a full boat. You want to keep your spine long and lengthened from tailbone all the way up to your head. You can bring your arms out to the side, or if it's too much, you could just come here, or you could even do like a half boat pose. So there's a lot of options and ways we can modify boat. So I'm going to go into half boat today, and now we're going to challenge ourselves by doing a little bit of lifting and lowering of our legs. So we're going to tap one toe down, bring it up, tap the other toe down, bring it up, tap the first toe down, bring it up, tap your other toe down, bring it up. Maybe you want to go all the way into full boat and lift and lower your legs in sort of a scissor fashion, but you just want to make sure that you're holding your core muscles and moving with your breath as you lift and lower. Great work. One more each side. Great job. Bring your legs in for a hug. Keep those toes lifted. And maybe we'll do a few star poses or star explodes. Ready? We're going to breathe in. And on the exhale, extend out your arms and legs. Breathe in. Extend out your arms and legs. Breathe in. Extend them one more time. Great job. And then you can plant your feet on the ground. Now find a comfortable seat. And we're going to do a little bit of stretching to either side to make sure that we did all that balancing work. We want to make sure that we feel balanced inside our bodies as well as doing the actual work when we're focusing and doing the poses. So we're going to breathe in and let it out on a sigh. Nice job. Breathe in. Let it out on a sigh. Breathe in and plant your left hand on the ground. Raise your right hand over towards the sky, and then on the exhale, bend all the way to the side, however much is comfortable. You might be here. You might be all the way down in your forearm, but you want to try to open and roll your shoulder back so that you can have a really good side body stretch. We'll take a few breaths here. And then on your next exhale, come up. And we'll try that on the other side. Plant your right hand on the ground. Breathe in. And on the exhale, bend over any amount. Remember, roll that shoulder open. You can look up towards the sky if it's comfortable. You can look straight forward if that's most comfortable. And then come back to center. Great work. Now we're going to do a staff pose. And I'm actually going to grab my strap because this one has a modification in case you need it. So you want to put your legs out in front of you and have them nice and long and straight like a staff. That's why it's called that way. So it would look like this. All right. And then we're going to breathe in. Raise our arms overhead, and then you hinge at the hips and bend forward any amount. Now, I'm often tight in my lower back, so this is a really challenging stretch for me. And you don't want to round your back because that's not the stretch you're looking for. That's not really good for the muscles. You would rather find length in your back and only stretch a little bit to preserve the stretch than to hurt yourself or do something that's not good for your back. Now, one thing you can do is lift your knees, put a soft bend in your knees, and you might be able to stretch a little further. And that's a great way to find some more length. And as we breathe in, we lengthen our back, and then as we exhale, we can creep our hands forward a little more for the bend. Another thing you can do in this pose is you could take a strap, if you have one, and put it around your feet, and do the same. Breathe in, and then creep forward up the strap. You still want to be careful not to round, so keep that back straight. You can even bend the knees, and the strap's just acting as an extension of your hands. Now, some people are very capable of bending all the way, grabbing their toes, grabbing their feet, bending completely flat. So you just want to honor your body where you're at today. So we'll take one more breath wherever we are. Good job. And then we can come back out of that. All right. Now we're going to do the rest of the class on the floor, which is kind of great. So we're going to come back. We're going to hug our knees into our chest one last time. We're going to roll back. Great job. And put your back and your head flat on the ground. And then you can plant your feet on the ground too. Now we're going to start with extending out our left leg. And we're going to breathe in. And we're going to breathe out. And we're going to bring our right leg over our left leg across our body. Now you want your right shoulder blade still touching the ground. You want your left shoulder blade still touching the ground. So you only want to bring your leg as much as you feel the stretch, but can maintain contact with the ground and your shoulder blades. You can keep a hand here. You can extend your right leg long. We can put our arms at a T and then look over our right shoulder. And we'll just take a few breaths here. And then your next exhale, bring your knees back into your chest, give them a hug. Now we'll take a breath in, and on that exhale, extend your right leg. Breathe in. And on the exhale, bring your left leg across your right. So we're doing our other side. And again, only go as far as you can keep your both shoulder blades on the ground. You can do a T with your arms again, and you can look over your left shoulder, or you can look straight up at the ceiling, whatever feels comfortable in your neck and shoulders. You can also extend your leg. I've hit the wall, so if you wanted to, you can extend your leg out, your top leg, your left leg. Breathe here. On your next exhale, come back. Bring those knees back into the chest one more time. Then we're going to drop our feet to the ground, and we're going to breathe in and bring our right leg up and cross it over so our right ankle is over our left knee. We're making a figure 4 with our legs. This is reclined pigeon. Now, for some people, this may be more than enough stretch. It's already opening up your hips, and you might feel the stretch very deeply. If you want to take it a little further, you can breathe in and pull your left leg up, interlace your hands behind your left thigh, and you can rock back and forth. And this feels really great. This stretches out your hip flexors, it stretches out your glutes, and it's really great, especially after a balancing workout where we're working hard with those muscles. If you want to take it a little further, you can extend your left leg up towards the air. You just don't want her up to the sky. You don't want to feel any twinges in your lower back. If you start feeling twinges, bring your leg back down. You can also push your right elbow into your right thigh to deepen the stretch, or you can take your hands and interlace them around your left shin, and that's another way to deepen the stretch. So this is a really great pose that has a lot of options, and you can either keep it static, or you can continue to rock, whatever feels best in your body. Take one more breath. And then on the exhale, we'll bring our knees back to the ground. And we'll try that on the other side. So breathe in. Bring your left leg over your right, so your left ankle is over your right thigh and knee. And then you can stay here if this is enough, or you can bring your hands behind your right thigh and start to rock the posture there. And a reminder, you can put your right foot towards the sky. You can also grab around the front of the right shin, and you can always use your left elbow as leverage into your left thigh to give yourself a little deeper of a stretch. So I really recommend playing with all those options. It'll probably be different every day. The more you do yoga, the more you practice, the more you'll start to find that you can go deeper in stretches, and you might want to take some of these modifications. All right. That is great work. So now we're going to bring our legs into the hug position one more time. Hug them to your chest. Plant them down. And if you want to take any final movements that your body might need, like an inversion, you could do a shoulder stand or plow if that's in your practice. You could do a Baddha Konasana if you want, Supta Baddha Konasana if you want your hips opened again. So doing the feet together, the soles of the feet together in butterfly legs. If you want to do a shoulder stand, we push up and we come straight. It's funny doing it on the camera. Or you can do plow and start to bring your feet back and over your head as long as you're safe and preserve your neck integrity. You could take eagle legs or do something kind of fun, or wide legs, whatever you want to do. So if you're in the inversion, on your next exhale, start to come down, plant your feet on the ground, and then we're going to all meet in Shavasana. So go ahead and extend your legs long. Extend your arms long. If it's a little chilly in your house, go ahead and pull a sweatshirt on. Take any final preparations you need, maybe a blanket. And then we'll all come to stillness. Take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and let it out on a sigh. Breathe in again. Let it out on a sigh. And one more time, breathe in. Let it out on a sigh. And then just let your breathing return to normal. It'll be a little more shallow than that. And you can start to follow the breath. You can, in your head, think in and out, or you can count your breaths. 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale. And we're just going to focus on our breath. And a lot of people feel like when you're in Shavasana that you're meditating, and meditating is really easy to get rid of all the thoughts. And then as soon as you try it, it feels like your mind's just bombarded with thoughts. So my best advice is that it takes a lot of practice. And every day is not going to be a good day. That's why we call it practice and not making it perfect. And just try to think of your thoughts maybe as gentle clouds passing by. And you see one, you acknowledge it, but then you're able to just gently blow it away or push it away and come back to focusing on the breath. All right, as you're ready, go ahead and start to bring some movement gently to your fingers and toes. Let them wiggle or clench them up and then extend them long. Do this for a few breaths. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and put your hands together beneath your head. Roll to one side. Take a nice deep breath in this position. Let it all out. And then as you're ready, gently push up to sitting. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm really proud of how you challenged yourself, and I hope you had a lot of fun giving that a try. The light and the beauty in me honors the light and the beauty in you. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.